G'day, how we going? Welcome back. Today, we are ranking every circuit track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Let's get it.
Your tries, kid.
God, this track sucks, man. There's nothing to it. It's just the definition of boring. To give you a bit of an insight on the track, it's mainly just about two big turns and then a kind of shortcut at the end, and that's about it. It's honestly the most visually ugly looking track in the game, and yeah, anyone that chooses this track obviously likes it just because of how easy it is to race on. So yeah, easily the worst circuit track in the game. Now, at number 7, we have Wii U's mariocircuit, and I'm not gonna lie, I've hated this one since its release. I just think it was to show off the new anti-gravity feature, and it didn't really have any purpose to be in the game. Like, everything's just kind of forgettable, and yeah, it's just, there's a couple obstacles, and that's about it. It's not really anything interesting, just a kind of bland and boring track. Honestly, I kinda like GBA Mario Circuit because it's very different to its original version, where Nintendo, on one long boring corner in the original version, they actually elevated the track to where it turns into anti-gravity, and it's actually lifted up by this Nintendo toy that I can't remember the name of, but obviously that's a very cool idea. I also like how there's oil slicks and tyres as obstacles on the track. That gives it a bit of a challenge aspect when you're crowded around other players. And another thing is just having some cool hidden shortcuts in kind of the off-road areas to give the track a bit of life. At the number 5 spot, we have Wii Daisy Circuit. Now, I quite like this track. Although it is a bit on the simpler side, I still very enjoy the shortcuts that are on offer, and it's aesthetically very pleasing, very great to look at. My only problem with it is that it took up a goddamn double dash slot in the booster course pass. Sorry, that decision always gets to me, but to choose something like this over Mushroom Bridge is disgusting. Coming in at the number 4 slot, we have DS Mario Circuit. Now, this is going to be a surprise to a lot of people, because I know this track is very well loved, and it does deserve the love it gets, but I do have a couple issues with it, and I'm going to get right into that. My first issue is that I feel like there's not enough obstacles on the actual track itself, and it's more just kind of on the sidelines. Like where you got, you know, the piranha plants shooting fireballs at ya, or the wiggler. It's not really got to do with anything on the track, it's kind of just something going on in the background. Now, some positives about this track is it's got a lot of turns, and there's a lot of variety in the sections of the track, such as the woods where the Wiggler sleeps, and then on lap 3 he wakes up and he kind of marches around. There's also the fireball spitting piranha plants that are on the sides of the sand kind of part, and then you also got the nice green tunnel to add to it. Overall, it's just a really solid track and does well for a Mario circuit, and that's why it's cracking the top half of our list. Alright, now this is probably going to be a very controversial pick, but at the number 3 spot we have SNES Mario Circuit 3, and before you bite my head off, hear me out. It just seems like every time I race on this track, it gets better and better each time. The shortcuts are awesome on this track, there's so many, and a lot of people say that the background of this track looks very ugly. I believe it actually looks very good, because it captures that kind of old feel of Mario Kart, and I think it captures that SNES charm. Now, it was a very tough decision on what track was going to get the number 1 or 2 spot, but in the end, I went with Hyrule Circuit coming in at number 2. Now, this track is amazing, especially for a circuit track. It captures that difficulty aspect very well by making the track not too difficult, but still challenging with many obstacles in the way. To give you a bit of an insight on the track, there is a lot of twists and turns, but kind of at the start section, you got this off-road shortcut leading into a glider panel where you fly over into a castle section. Then there are these 3 little spinny like anti-gravity things that you can hit which will open up a secret boost pad to go across the middle instead of going around the sides. I think this is a very cool addition to the track, and it makes it very interesting whether you can hit all 3 panels by yourself or if other people are going to help you out on the way. And to top it off, I think the last section of the track is the most difficult because you are having to dodge some Zelda themed piranha plants while trying to win the race. Overall, this track is very solid and could easily be number 1 on anyone's list, but for me, it's going to stay in the number 2 spot and is beaten out by one other track. The best circuit track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is none other than Double Dash's Yoshi Circuit. It just doesn't get better than this, dude. It is the definition of a perfect circuit track, and I'm gonna tell you why right now, right here. As a kid, I grew up playing this track all the time on Double Dash, and it was one of the standouts to me. It is honestly much better on that game, but it's goddamn Yoshi Circuit. It doesn't get better than this. From the twists and turns, to the tunnel section, to the waterfall cut, to the off-road section. It's got everything a track needs, everything a circuit needs. To top it off, the map is literally shaped as a Yoshi, which is the coolest thing to me. This track has so much variety to it and is unhateable. I don't know anyone that hates this track. It is just so good, so loved by a lot of people. It deserves all the love it gets because aesthetically it looks very great in this game as well. The only real issue I can point out is the removal of the tunnel shortcut in the original. It was a very good shortcut, very fun to use, but unfortunately it did get removed in this game. But other than that, it's a very great track, always been solid, and I just love this track with a passion, and I hope it returns again in the future. But that is my list of all the circuit tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as it helps out a lot, and I wish to keep making content like this in the near future. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you all next time. Bowie TV signing off.